is within our power to change the course of the history of this country. Changing the balance in the United States Senate, which is what this election will do, will make all the difference about everything that they have talked to you about on this very stage this afternoon.
Kamala Harris campaigning in Georgia just yesterday, and we are now just 2 weeks away from those all-important runoff elections that will determine who controls the U.S. Senate. The race is getting a ton of national attention, as you'd expect. People in Georgia are also excited. Nearly 1.5 million Georgians have already cast their ballots since early voting started just last Monday. And the races, they couldn't be tighter. Latest polls show that Republicans Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue basically are in virtual ties with their Democratic challengers Raphael Warnock and Jon Ossoff. Loeffler and Perdue are also dealing with some headaches not of their own making. They're trying to navigate the craziness coming from this White House. President Trump, he wants people to vote for them, but he's also harassing Republican Georgia election officials and even the Republican governor, telling them to overturn the results from November's race. So Trump telling Georgians their election was fraudulent, but still wanting them to vote now. Loeffler, she got a first-hand look at that when she was drowned out by Trump supporters at a recent rally.
That's what we're fighting for. We're fighting for him every... That's right. That's right. The original outsider in Washington, fighting every single day.
Stop the steal, but trust the election process and vote for me in a couple weeks. So Georgia's Secretary of State is also taking extra measures to ensure that people from out of state aren't trying to vote illegally. 8,000 people from outside of Georgia, they've requested absentee ballots, and the state has sent letters to all of them threatening them with a $100,000 fine and up to 10 years in prison if they are illegally trying to vote, not legally absentee. It is worth noting that many, if not most of the people who've requested ballots are likely on the level as they are military or working out of state or even students. And there's tons of other reasons as well, all legitimate. But the state, it is taking extra precautions due to the political firestorm surrounding this election. Our field producer, Annie Andersen, she's been down in Georgia for weeks now following the candidates and speaking with the voters. Today, she caught up with Jon Ossoff as he voted early.
This is where Jon Ossoff voted today. Now, before he voted for himself, he spoke to supporters, telling the group of young people that they will hold the power for this election.
Everybody good? Yeah! Thank you so much for being here.
Greeting supporters in Atlanta's historic Capitol View neighborhood, Senate candidate Jon Ossoff spoke on the importance of young voters.
Young people in Georgia have the power to make history.
The 33-year-old Democrat continued, speaking about some of his legislative priorities.
We can pass a new Civil Rights Act and a new Voting Rights Act to secure equal justice for all, regardless of race and regardless of class. We can end voter suppression and protect the sacred franchise for which so many bled and died. We can relieve the burden of student debt.
Ossoff then went across the street to vote.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to early voting.
Thank you so much.
Quickly checking in and filling out his ballot. Leaving, Ossoff ran into voter NAOMI Russell, who came to early vote.
I wanted to make sure that I got in before, after the holidays with everyone traveling and being back out, and this is my voting poll.
Russell didn't hear Ossoff speak about his priorities, but they're the same as hers.
One that I'm more passionate about, of course, is, equal voting rights and him helping to make sure that we have better police reform laws and things like that.
So far, about 140,000 people under 30 have voted in Georgia's runoffs, about 8% of the early voters. And while today was focused on getting people out to vote, Ossoff also gave his thoughts on the COVID relief bill passed yesterday.
I would have voted for it, but $600 is a joke. And for David Perdue, a man who treats his Senate office like it's his E-Trade account, who blatantly and flagrantly abuses his power to enrich himself, to spend 8 months obstructing direct stimulus payments for his own constituents, the people who pay his salary, is shameful. So yes, I would have voted for the deal, and on day one, I'll be ready to work for more direct economic relief for the people, because folks have rent that's overdue, credit cards maxed out, prescriptions they can't afford, college bills coming due, and people are hurting through no fault of their own right now.
In Atlanta, Annie Andersen for RNN.
Annie, thank you very much. And a programming note, tomorrow on this program, I'm going to be speaking to one of the political deans of Georgia politics, a reporter from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution who is as wired in as anybody with Georgia politics. He'll tell us who he thinks is up and down in these all-important races. All right, coming up next, though, we switch gears. We're going to lighten things up, get into the holiday spirit, if you will, and show you some of the incredible Christmas light displays people have this year.